So, about a year ago, I fulfilled a childhood dream of building myself a racing sim, and since diving down the rabbit hole of what has become yet another very addictive hobby, I've already made several changes to the current setup. It's a slippery slope, and it's time for another upgrade. Well, several, actually. This video is brought to you by BOBkeys.com. You guys know the drill. You've just finished building your brand new PC, you boot it up, and bam, that hideous Activate Windows watermark appears. And the worst part is you forgot to budget $200 for an activation key from Microsoft because you spent it all on RGB. But that's okay, because you don't need to spend $200. You can pick one up from today's video sponsor, BOBkeys.com, for a tenth of the price. The best part is you can use my code TT25 for 25% off, which takes this already cheap Windows 10 Pro key from around $22 to $16. If you're in the UK, that's £13. You place your order, your activation code gets added to your orders page, you whack it into the Windows activation screen, and boom, you're fully activated, no more watermarks being burned into your retinas. TT25 for 25% off, link in description. Now, much like buying a more expensive guitar doesn't instantly turn you into Tim Henson, spending your money on more upgrades for your sim rig doesn't necessarily make you a better driver, which is exactly why I didn't pay for any of the upgrades in this video. Joke's on you, Moser and Asus. Seriously though, you probably noticed I do get sent quite a lot of stuff, and I really want to start giving back to you guys more. So at the end of this video, I'll be giving away a very nice piece of kit from Moser, so make sure you stick around to the end. Now, perhaps one of the most hotly debated topics in sim racing is the thing you actually look at, the monitor. You got people who swear by triples, there's ultra-wide users, and some people ditch monitors altogether and go VR. Now, it seems like triples is overall the way to go. There's one problem though, I don't have room for them. So instead, I've got this 45-inch 21:9 OLED ultra-wide from LG. Now, to be honest guys, I'm pretty happy with this setup. The only downside I would say is the resolution. It's 3440 by 1440, which at this size is a little bit lacking in the resolution department. Now, there's someone over at Asus who knows I'm into sim racing and suggested I try one of their new OLED super ultra-wides, more specifically the ROG Swift PG49WCD ABCDEFG. I've never had one of these before, neither in a gaming setup or a sim rig, so I guess we should just try it and find out whether or not a super ultra wide is better than just a regular one. Wow, it's actually not as curved as I was expecting. Let me flip it around. Back looks pretty nice as well, got the ROG logo on there, and I think this bit lights up. Now, specs-wise, it's about as good as you'll get on a high-end monitor these days. It's using a second-gen OLED panel, it's 5120 by 1440, 144Hz, 0.03 millisecond response time, G-Sync compatible, and it's got some fancy tech in it to reduce the risk of burn-in, which I will immediately disable because it's annoying. Obviously, being an ROG monitor as well, you have all the usual RGB gamer styling, which you're probably never gonna see unless your desk is in the middle of the room. With the monitor unboxed, it was time for my least favorite part of this whole process, pulling out the cockpit so I could actually access the stand that the monitor needs to go on. With the monitor successfully installed, all that was left was to plug it into the PC. Fortunately, there's a selection of ports to choose from, including HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort 1.4, along with a whole host of USB ports, one of which has 90 watts of power delivery for fast charging my handheld vacuum, for example. Now, in terms of aspect ratio, we're going from 21:9 to 32:9, which should technically give me more horizontal FOV and allow me to see more of stuff in general, which you'd think I'd be excited about. But I wasn't, at least not until I sat down in it. Alright guys, got my cup of Yorkshire tea in a mug that says coffee. Now, I'm very excited to hop into Assetto Corsa so we can test out the new monitor. I can already tell just sitting down here that it's filling more of my peripheral vision. One thing to note is that you guys probably saw some shots of the previous monitor. It was really far back in those shots. I don't normally play with it like that. It's just that Nay prefers how it looks when it's pushed against the wall when I'm not using it. So yeah, I always have to like pull it forwards. After a few warm-up laps, things were going well. No. I'll be honest guys, I wasn't sure how much I would actually like this monitor. I was saying to Nay before I installed it, I was like, yeah, I don't know how much better it's going to be than the 45-inch, because I was like, well, the 45-inch is kind of a little bit bigger. But yeah, I honestly think I prefer this. I just like the extra FOV that it gives you. Now, in terms of how crisp the display looks versus the previous one, I would say there's a little bump. It's not that noticeable, honestly. I wouldn't have recommended the LG 45-inch for things like like everyday work, like doing text documents, because when you're looking at text, it does look kind of blurry. It was fine for gaming, but like I said, just because this is a slightly smaller monitor in comparison, it's not been blown up as big, so there's a little bit of increased, like, perceived pixel density. I mean, the quality of the picture itself, though, looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's OLED, so what do you expect? Right, just finished the race there. As you can tell, this monitor has made me a much better driver. Just imagine how good I'm gonna be when I get the new wheelbase on here. With one upgrade complete and well on the way to becoming the next Lewis Hamilton, it was about time we unboxed the new wheelbase, wheel, and sequential shifter that Moser had been desperate for me to try out. Look, it says your speed and passion. It should have said speed and power.
Speed and power.
Wait, are those stickers? It is, look. I can have a Moser tattoo. Ooh, check it out. Definitely seems to be a fingerprint magnet. That is quite the power supply. That is a lot bigger than the one that came with the R5 bundle. With 16 Newton meters of peak torque and an improved force feedback system versus the previous version, the Moser R16 is for most people all you'll ever need. Pair that with Moser's growing ecosystem and the ability to connect multiple devices like pedals, shifters, and handbrakes directly to the wheelbase itself, and you have a very compelling option, even when compared directly to some of the bigger players in the sim racing space like Fanatec. Fortunately, unlike the R5 wheelbase, the R16 didn't require me to drill additional holes into the cockpit, so it was a very straightforward procedure. Now that we had the shiny new wheelbase installed into the setup and ready to shake my entire rig apart, I was excited to hop into the driver's seat and see what all the fuss was about. Although not before booting up Moser Pithouse software and setting the force feedback intensity to a modest 50%. Okay, so it's only the first corner and I can already tell, wow, that is a big difference. Yeah, just from the smallest of details, like the little tiny bumps in the road, you can see the other car as it goes over the bumps. You can feel a lot more detail in just those little nuances. Now, one of the benefits I've been told of having a higher torque wheelbase is not necessarily just the fact that it can put out more power, but it's just that you have the extra headroom. So I guess it's kind of similar to if you bought like a tiny speaker and then you ran it at 100% volume and it's just like, you're just not hearing the details. Whereas if you buy a more powerful speaker and you just run it at say like 70%, it's just gonna sound better. And I'm definitely feeling it with this. We're only at 50% power, but it's making me wonder now what it feels like at a higher force feedback intensity. Before satisfying my craving for more power, I decided to unbox the new Moser GS V2P wheel, which was confusing. Wait, is this the same wheel? Wait, what is it? GS V2P. Let me grab my other one. Actually, let me look up the differences. So, according to someone on Reddit, they said that the differences are that the back now has the forged carbon, as we saw. They've changed the RPM shift lights at the top here, so that it's like individual LEDs rather than just one light bar. And apparently the quick release has been modified as well, so that it is now lighter. With its forged carbon design, the GS V2P is arguably one of the better looking GT-style wheels on the market, as well as durable with its perforated leather handle grips. But where it shines is the overall feel. The magnetic paddle shifters have a satisfying tap. The buttons have a tactile click. Even attaching it to your wheelbase and hearing the clunk as it locks into place is satisfying. And that's before you've even turned it on. For this next test, I decided to hop into Moser Pithouse software once again and selected the GT preset, which dialed up the power. I'll be honest guys, I haven't done a lot of GT racing, so this is gonna be interesting. Dude, it's literally nearly ripping the wheel out of my hands. Brake! Oh god. Yeah, especially when going over rumble strips as well. You can feel the wheels. I will say, I am liking the improved LEDs on this new updated wheel. Definitely makes it easier to see things. It's not just like a blur of color. It's probably gonna be really hard to convey over video just how powerful this thing feels, but man, if you get a chance to try one of these for yourself, you really should. And yes, crashing is a very bad idea. Oh. That's when you let go. With the upgraded rig coming along nicely, there was one more piece of the puzzle to add, Moser's new SGP sequential shifter, which having played Colin McRae Rally 2.0 at the turn of the century, I was very experienced with. I'll be honest guys, I have never done any rally driving on the sim, so I guess we're gonna have to do some so that we can try this thing out. Ooh, that feels really nice. Little lever there. Oh, and then we've also got 2 buttons as well, which I'm guessing you can just map to whatever you want. This is going to be fun. Moza have seemingly come out of nowhere in the sim racing space and managed to create an ever-growing ecosystem of sim racing products that are not only innovative, but affordable. For a lot of people, especially those who are just getting into the hobby, they want something that feels great, is easy to set up, and most importantly, it doesn't cost a ridiculous amount of money. And products like this tick all of those boxes. In an unfortunate turn of events, I realized that in order to mount the sequential shifter, I was going to have to remove my handbrake and mount it elsewhere on the rig. Where? I'm not sure yet, but at least for now, I can roleplay as a professional rally driver, which went very well. Nope, that's first. Oh, this is absolutely impossible. Nope, that's the wrong gear again. I'm blaming the car. Ooh, let's go for this car. Oh, this car feels a lot nicer. Wow, the gear ratios are so short in these cars. It's almost like a F1 car gear ratio. Yeah, I also need to add my handbrake back as well. Yeah, I'm basically a pro now. iRacing next? Subscribe. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be giving away this. So this is the Moza GSV2 wheel, of course. I have 2 of these now. I don't need 2, so I'd love for one of you guys to have it. Now, because I'm going to be shipping this personally, unfortunately on this occasion, you will have to be located inside the US. But yeah, if you're in the US and you want it, click the link in the pinned comment below this video. It'll take you to a post on my Instagram. Just leave a comment saying why you want the wheel. I'll pick someone and send you a DM. And this is the name of my account right here. Now, if someone else DMs you pretending to be me and asks you to pay for shipping, do not give them any money. That is not me. That's a scammer. I will never ask you to pay any money to win something. Now, if you're not located in the US this time around, don't worry. I'm going to try and talk to Moza soon to see if we can do a worldwide giveaway, because I know they have like the R3 bundle releasing soon, which is compatible with consoles. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys. If you want to check out any of the stuff featured in today's video, it will all be linked down below in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and hit that subscribe button if you're new. I do plan on doing some more racing sim content if you guys want to see it. I know I saw a few comments of people like, do more racing sim content, but we have more gaming stuff coming as well. I need to actually do a gaming setup tour. I think this is the first time I've done like this angle, so let me know what you think. But yeah, cheers for watching guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.